Before we get to today's show, I wanted to share a quick reminder that being financially organized is one of the biggest factors in building wealth. Want to be a millionaire? It's not going to happen if you're not organized with your money. So, how can you get organized? Well, our favorite app is Empower. It's free, allows you to connect your banks and brokers, and it gives you daily income and expense updates. Ready to try it out? You can sign up at thecollegeinvestor.com/empowermoney. Very interesting topic on the show today. Welcome. This is the College Investor audio show. Howard University readmits 200 of 502 unenrolled freshmen after all kinds of backlash. Very, very interesting. And we'll get to it in just a second. But just anytime you hear a podcast, there's always the article right along with it. You can dive deeper, get all the info, get the links and resources we mention at thecollegeinvestor.com, which, by the way, just bookmark it because, my goodness, what an amazing website. I know I'm biased, but still, it's wonderful. You can also like and follow on all the clicky buttons on social media, type in the words The College Investor, or pretty much anywhere you are. Love to get to know you and help you wherever you are in your money journey. All right, Howard University, let's take a look. Howard, an unenrolled 502 incoming freshmen on July 22nd, weeks before move-in. Yikes. It has since then readmitted more than 200 of them, like a roughly 40% reversal of its own decisions. That number alone tells you the university got this thing wrong. These are families who had already committed to a school where the cost of attendance runs past, $66,000 a year. The handling of this entire saga was worse than the decision, too, if you can imagine. Students learned by email that they had lost seats. They spent years earning. Families couldn't get through by phone. Of course not. Why could they? Humans don't answer phones anymore. The deadline Howard enforced does not appear on its public-facing pages, and the university's explanation has changed 5 times in 9 days. For most families, paying the college bill is already the most confusing part of the whole process about moving or without a school moving the target, right? There's also a second thing that's true at the same time, and it matters for everybody listening to this. Some of these students did miss real requirements, and checking your student account is your job. Knowing how to read your financial aid award letter and what it does and does not guarantee is part of that. Both of these things belong in this story. But here's what Howard got wrong. The reversal rate. Howard removed 502 students, then restored more than 200 after review. Interim President Wayne A.I. Frederick told the AP, Associated Press. An institution that has to undo 40% of an action did not do enough review before taking it. Rutgers higher education professor Mary Beth Gassman made the same point to the GRIO. Individual reviews should have come before mass notification, not after. Before. The denial. This is bad. In that same AP interview, Frederick said this, quote, "There were no issues as far as what we communicated," and, quote, "I think Howard adhered to his policies or procedures." I'm sure he's a well-educated man and he does not talk like that, but I don't know, I just thought it was funny. 2 days later, he issued a written apology. His own SVP of Enrollment Management, Kiana Scales, had already told WLJLA that many students, quote, "have actually submitted the information or attempted to satisfy our requirements," and that Howard needed to double down on resources. The moving target. Missed deadlines, then insufficient staffing, then retention rates, then nothing went wrong, then a sincere apology. Aw. Oh no, I'm laying on the sarcasm pretty thick. Those are 5 different accounts of the same event, and none of them help a family trying to work out what the heck they actually owe and by when. The undisclosed criterion. As if that wasn't enough, Howard's July 23rd statement cited only financial grounds, the category families would have been watching after reviewing their aid package. Frederick later told the AP that some students were removed, quote, "because of unreported immunizations." Again, I'm sure he doesn't speak that way. A non-financial reason the university's original public statement never mentioned. What are you doing, Frederick? The deadlines that just don't add up. Howard says it communicated deadlines from March through July by email, video, and orientation sessions. That might be entirely true. But a family trying to verify their status on Howard's website would have found different dates than the one that cost 502 students their seats. Most schools publish when tuition is actually due in one place, and families are told to rely on it. Howard's Important Deadlines page lists one fall payment date, August 3rd, 2026. It draws no distinction between incoming and returning students. The fall payment plan, which Howard listed as an acceptable way to comply, opened June 15th with a first installment due July 15th, a date confirmed in the 26-27 student financial calendar. Families report being told to pay 50% of the balance by July 10th. That requirement does not appear on Howard's bursar pages, payment FAQs, or even official notice of charges. The only 50% rule Howard publishes covers third-party sponsors and is due November 30th. Frederick's statement refers to a good faith tuition payment and additional time beyond the original deadline. Neither term is defined, and neither date is given. Federal rules add another wrinkle here. A school cannot disperse federal aid more than 10 days before classes begin. August 7th for Howard's August 17th start. Students relying on Pell, Direct Loans, Parent Plus could not have had that money posted in mid-July because federal loans disperse on a schedule no family can accelerate. And then there's the document. A slide posted to TikTok around July 26th presented as an internal Howard de-enrollment strategy said the university's goal was 2,400 first-time students and that it was over by 300 plus. I will say this, the College Investor has not authenticated the slide, and Howard did not respond to our request for comment. The part families need to own, though, because none of the above removes a student's responsibility, and pretending otherwise would not help anyone listening to this right now, right? Howard's requirements were not unusual. Nearly every college in the country requires proof of immunization, a housing deposit, course registration, and a settled or documented balance before you even move in, alongside paying the mandatory fees that catch families off guard every single fall. A student who never submitted immunization records did miss something real. Even if it's none, even if you didn't get immunized at all, you still have to submit the records. Anyway, the problem is what Howard published as a requirement, what it did about unmet deadlines, and how little warning it gave, not that it asked. Frederick said the majority of admitted students completed the requirements on time, and the data supports that. Colleges unenroll students every year. It's normal part of college admissions process, sadly. But it's usually dozens of students, max, not hundreds. And the messaging and deadlines for unenrollment are crystal clear here. Here are some key takeaways for all college-bound families. This is important. Log into your student account weekly between June and the first week of class. Don't just assume aid is applied because you were awarded it. Awarded and dispersed are two different things, and disbursement cannot happen more than 10 days before classes start. Read every single email from the bursar, financial aid, admissions, and student health. All of them. Requirements come from separate offices that often just don't even talk to each other, and each carry their own deadline. If you are waiting on an outside scholarship, VA benefits, or even a late loan, tell the bursar? I always say bursar. I always have. It's probably bursar. Anyway, in writing, and ask for written confirmation that your account is in good standing. And then save and document the reply. Ask one specific question. Does documentation of pending aid satisfy your enrollment requirement, or do you need money posted? At Howard, families believed the answer was documentation. Hundreds found out otherwise. If the answer is money, know your gap-filling options before the deadline, not the week of. Check the health and immunization portal separately. It is the single most commonly missed item, and it has nothing to do with money. And it is the one requirement no aid appeal can solve for you. Here's where things stand for the remaining Howard students. Roughly 300 remain unenrolled. Howard says the review of all 502 cases is complete, final notifications are going out, and it's also exploring deferred enrollment in a future term for those who were not restored. New York Governor Kathy Hochul directed SUNY and CUNY, S-U-N-Y and C-U-N-Y, I guess, to open expedited fall 2026 admissions to displaced Howard students with guaranteed admission for New York residents and expedited review for everybody else. Participating SUNY campuses include Albany, Binghamton, Buffalo, Buffalo State, New Paltz, Oneonta, and Stony Brook. With more reviewing capacity, applications run through suny.edu/Howard. CUNY is accepting expedited applications system-wide as well. Both systems offer an $800 credit to offset the non-refundable enrollment deposit students had already paid to Howard, which confirms something Howard has not addressed publicly. Unenrolled students did not even get their deposits back. The University of the District of Columbia extended its enrollment deadline to August 7th for affected students, and community college remains an option for anyone who needs to start on time somewhere. Any student taking one of these paths should confirm how their aid transfers before committing to it. Howard has not released a breakdown of the 502 by cause, hasn't even said how many were removed over immunizations rather than money, and has not even addressed whether the incoming class was above an enrollment target or not. It did not respond to the college investors' request for comment either. This is Howard's second consecutive summer of billing failures. Remember, back in July of 25, roughly 1,000 students received surprise balance notices after a financial system transition, the kind of dispute that can follow a student long after they leave school. The previous university president stepped down weeks later, and Frederick returned as interim the next day. Classes begin August 17th. Whether Howard's reputation improves or declines is yet to be seen. That is our show for today. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, click like and subscribe. That'd be amazing. You can also share with others. That'd be awesome too. And like and subscribe and all the other things on social media. Find us, just search for the words The College Investor. We're there. Thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll talk to you again real soon.